From my foster care records, I was in 10 homes from ages 2 to 4. My brother and I, he was in the system with me for 12 years.
My name is Barbara Johnson, and I've been a treatment foster parent for 30 years.
And my name is Cece Smith, and Barbara is my aunt. I have been a foster parent now for over 10 years. African American and other kids of color that are in the foster care system, they remain in care twice as long as a white child.
And I wondered, I said, why aren't more people of color taking in children?
My foster mother being Filipino and my foster dad being German and white, it was kind of confusing and hard for me to know what I identified as. For my black peers, it's like the older I got, the harder it was for me to be accepted by them as a black woman, because I didn't know all of the songs they'd be singing or movie references or like TV show references like Fresh Prince. I didn't get to watch all of those things, the things that they laugh about. I just didn't get it. I was kind of seen as like different because I just couldn't relate to the things that came so easily to them, having been raised in black homes.
There was a young man that they wanted me to take, but he had been in nothing but white homes, and he was not being successful at all. I think part of him not being able to settle down in those different homes is because he couldn't identify with them. He didn't feel a part of it. He stood in our kitchen and he said to me, "Everybody in this house is the same color of me." How many other kids want to feel that way?
I often do imagine how my life could be different if I was raised in a black home. I'm a black girl and my hair's curly and coily, and my Filipino mom had to teach herself how to do my hair. I feel like she tried her best, but I still got made fun of for the way my hair was looking when I went to school sometimes. I imagine loving my skin from an early age, loving how my nose looks, or how curly my hair is, and not always wanting it to be straight. I imagine just like more self-acceptance.
When our youngest was 2 or 3, we decided to pursue looking into foster adoption. That was our sort of entry into it, is to have a third child through adoption through the foster care system.
Yeah, our first placement was a 9-month placement, and it was a little boy who was about 15 months when he joined us.
Earlier that day when we learned he was coming to us, Adam had gone to the store to get some food that he might like, and he also got a toothbrush. And that evening, after we'd already brushed his teeth and put everybody to bed, I was unpacking this sort of hastily packed shopping bag with his things in it, and there were things from his family, and at the bottom of the bag was a toothbrush, and it was wrapped in a paper towel, and it just reminded me that someone else had cared for him. He had been somewhere else earlier that day, and now his whole life had been turned upside down. Somebody was grieving. Basically from the day he was removed from their home, we're working really hard to try to get him back in their home.
Understanding kind of how the state got involved, it really looked like, if anything, there needed to be more effort made for him to be with his family. I was glad that he was able to be with another black family while he was sort of away from his biological family, and to feel sort of safe and loved and everything.
Asking someone to become licensed, and there's probably in every family there's somebody that's been removed, from someone from the department. So then there's this negative overtone of what it means to be a part of the foster care system.
The foster agency is rightly concerned about is this child safe in a home, and they have whatever procedures to try to validate that. But you also feel that, well, since we're black, we may be under more suspicion that we are not, doing what we're supposed to do.
I think a lot about what happened to Native families and how children were intentionally removed to to change their cultural, to sort of remove their cultural identity.
And with black people in this country, I think it was the Moynihan report about the sort of pathology of the black family in the 20th century that informed and I'm sure still informs the government policy in the United States today towards poverty and to black people. You know, the only reason that we would sort of engage in doing this is because the need sort of was great enough that we were willing to take some risks.
My aunt didn't share how many kids that she's taken care of over the last 30 years, but it's over 250 kids in 30 years. And you know, one of the things that's so impactful in 250 kids, of helping to raise 250 kids, if they know where that house is, I'm subject to see several of my cousins that were in the foster care system, and you wouldn't be able to tell who is blood related and who's not. How can we come together so that we can create villages for the kids that don't have them?
I wish before you would say no is that you would go, maybe shadow a family for a day or go to an event and just see what it was like. Because now you can partner. There's so many trainings that can make you be successful.
It helped greatly that we had an intermediary in an agency that was helping us through the process.
Without Amara, it would have been very difficult to kind of come up with a placement that we thought would work. Without that guidance, we would have been kind of lost.
I think it's important for there to be black families in the foster care system because there are black children in the foster care system. They need the cultural understanding and just acceptance from their community.
I just think you need to come on board.